friends. This is Aaron at the Beards and the Bees channel. So far our packages have been in for 1 week, almost to the nose. We did the video of taking the queens out. They are out, they're laying. We've had a good couple days of flighting and foraging, and they've had time to drink some of that sugar syrup. We've already replaced that can on both sides. So they're at it right now. I got little signs of them actually bringing in pollen and stuff, so we'll see if we can capture some of that too. Today I have my lovely assistant, Samantha Honchel, the wonderful and one and only, to help me with this, because what I want to be able to do is pull these frames and actually show you guys inside these frames, you know, what they're putting in there right now. I'm not sure if we'll actually get any eggs right now, just because they need that drawn comb before the queen can put an egg in there. So it's going to see how much they're drawing it out and what's going on. They are trying frantically to get that stuff drawn out so that she can get on it. So let's see what she's got. We're going to get suited up and we will be right back. So we're getting our bee suits on. I'm all suited up. Sammy's all suited up. Here, let me show them. Let me show them you and your fanciness. Yay, Sam! Real quick, this is the smoker, the iconic beekeeper's tool that everybody knows about. We use this because it calms the bees. It's not like on the Bee Movie where you film and they just like collapse and it's so horrible. No, all this does is it covers up pheromones for their alarm pheromones. It calms them down, and you'll notice when I get the smoke on them, that's what it does to you. That they'll actually go down into the frames, and what they're trying to do is they try to fill their bodies full of honey, or whatever resources they have. Typically, it's honey or nectar, because what they're trying to do is they think, oh, there's a fire in the hive, we need to get all the resources we can, so in case we have to bail. So that's all it does. It doesn't harm them, doesn't hurt them, they're fine. It actually calms them. So we're not gonna give them a whole lot of smoke, because I feel the less smoke the better. So, but the first couple times we didn't need to use the smoke because they hadn't established that that was their home yet, so they had nothing to defend. Well, now this is their hive with their queen, so it's a little bit different story. Okay, so they shouldn't be too bad. We got really friendly breeds of bees. This here is the hive tool. We're going to use this to, in case there's any burr comb, which is comb that's outside of the frames, we're going to use that to scrape it. We're also going to use it to pull those frames apart. Bees have what's called bee space, and it's 3/8 of an inch. Anything bigger than 3/8 of an inch, they're going to fill it with the comb, burr comb. Anything smaller than 3/8 of an inch, they're going to glue it together with what's called propolis. Propolis is a glue that they get out of the saps of trees, and they glue everything together. So, all right, not to go on too far. Let's dig in and see how far they've come. All right, so we're gonna give them a little bit of smoke at the entrance. Not a whole lot, just a little. Just enough to say, hey, 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 there may be a fire. We're gonna come out here. It's always best to work at the backs of the hive. Oh, yeah, see, they're nice and calm. Alright, so I'm going to go as long as I can without having to smoke them. But they've actually drank that down in, what has it been, 2 days? Mm-hmm. So that's quite a lot in 2 days. So they've been working hard. Good job, girls. Thanks. So here we are. Here's our start. Girls underneath there. So we got, at least these frames here seem to be filled with bees. So watch, they're on top. Once I smoke them a little bit, they're gonna go down into the frames. And there they go. All right, so what I'm gonna do, because I am a new beekeeper and I am not experienced with pulling frames as I'd like to be, I'm gonna start with an outside frame, and that's just in case she's in here somewhere, that we don't do what's called rolling the queen, because she's fatter than everybody else. We don't want her to pop up. And actually you can see right here, see how they're gluing these two together? That's because See how these are all over here? These are all pushed together, but I had that queen cage right here. So because it violates that V space, it's not 3/8 of an inch, it's bigger, so they're gonna fill it with burr comb. Look, they're trying to glue these two frames together. So that was a mistake on my part. When I got her out of there, I should have pushed those two together like that. So, all right, so I'm gonna pull one of these frames first, just so I can get room. There shouldn't be much of anybody on these. A couple girls working the frames up here a little bit. They usually start at the top and work their way down. So nobody's really on here. Just they're kind of checking it out. So we're gonna move our little B here so I have a place to put these frames. I don't like setting them on the ground. A lot of beekeepers do, and I'm sure it's fine, but I'm always worried that there's gonna be a queen on it and she's just gonna go walking off. Okay, so here's our first frame. Seems like they're working on this one pretty well. Oh, yeah, see, watch. So I'm gonna breathe on it, and it moves them away. You can see that comb is they're starting to draw that comb out. That's what we want, and that's pretty good because they're over here on these lighter frames. That means these ones on the inner ones are probably going pretty haywire. Can you see the glisten in there? Can you get that on camera? The shininess that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the nectar that they're finding. Well, that's probably a lot of sugar syrup that I'm giving them, and it's probably a little bit of nectar too, but I think it's mostly sugar syrup because it's so clear. But so they're already putting stuff in there, which is good. So we're gonna do a quick run. Make sure I don't see my queen anywhere. Queens aren't usually this far away, but if you happen to see a little green spot, holler out. Let's check the other side. Other side a little bit, you can see they're drawing that comb just a little bit, so this foundation is just giving them a good platform to start. It looks like they're doing their job just as they need to be. So we're gonna set these girls aside. We're gonna go to the next one. Nice thing about these brand new hives, they're not all, look, they're holding together, creating a fence between their, hang on, oh no! So let's pull this one out. See, we have a lot of our girls are right here. So you can see this little bit of burr comb up here, and then they're really drawing out they're drawing these things out really well. Oh, you can see there's right inside there. Let's see if I can move that. Can you see that yellowy stuff in there?
Yep.
That's pollen. And it looks like they're kind of already meeting it into a little bit of bee bread. Oh, look, we have eggs. Can you see those little rices down in there? Can you see the little rice down there in the bottom of the cell? Can you see them down in there?
Yeah, those little grains of rice, that looks like.
Yep.
Yep, those little dots.
Those are the eggs. So our queen is probably on here somewhere, and she is laying like a madman. Over here, can you see those little worms in there? That's the larva.
Do it again.
There's larvae up in here. That means that's where she started laying. Awesome. Can you see them in there?
Mm-mm.
See if you can get those guys in there.
Oh yeah, I can see them.
Yep. So we will put these guys back down. We'll move this frame over. We don't want to keep them out too long because we don't want that brood to get chilled. If they get chilled, then they'll be duds. So we're just gonna hurry past that one. Those bees will cover all those. We'll get to our next frame. Pull straight up, nice and slow. Drawn out comb. This one, yep, it's filled with the bee bread. Bee bread is a mixture of pollen and nectar, sometimes a little honey if they have it, and that's what they feed the babies with. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's, where'd she go? There's this girl right here. You can see the little pollen on her sacs. You see her?
Yep.
Yeah, so they fill them up and then they push them down into these things and they put sugar water and they just make a really nice little melody for all the babies. So this one seems to be full of sugar water. So this must be their like feeding frame. So flip it around on this side. Let's see what we have in here. Up, we have a whole lot more larvae in here. So this queen is just rocking it right now. She's just,
I see her.
Do you see her? Where do you see her?
Right there.
Right where?
Right over here.
Oh, right there she is. Good eye, Sam. Good eye. Right there she is. There's our girl. And she is laying like a madman. That is so awesome. It's actually it's really cool to find the queen. A lot of times you don't. A lot of times when you see the eggs and the larva. Wow, look at all the eggs. Can you see all the eggs on this side?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So she is just a killer queen. So we won't bother that one too much. We know she's on that frame, which is good. We'll bring these girls over here. And really, that's really what we're just trying to see. We're just trying to make sure they're drawing out comb and that they're filling it with eggs, and she's doing that. She's doing her job. Everything that we should be seeing is what we're seeing, so we are looking good. So we have no reason to really stick around in this hive. All we're gonna do is make more of a buzz. So, but we will push these frames together a little closer. I'm gonna take this burr comb out of here. So see, there's a little bit of pollen even in that burr comb. All right, come on, girls. I know. I'm gonna set it out to the side. You guys can take whatever's in it out of it.
Now, why are you taking the burr comb out?
I'm taking the burr comb out because what I don't want them to do is, what it's doing is fusing these two frames together. Okay. So what I don't want them to do is continue fusing these frames together, because then they'll just keep carrying on until it's one solid frame. And we want to be able to get in between there and take these things apart. Yeah, imagine that you have blueprints for a house, and then you're building your house, and all of a sudden somebody comes in, rips up your blueprints, and then gives you a new blueprint. So you're like, well, I've kind of already started building. So you just kind of makeshift with what you have. So in order to get the best structure possible, you want to put your frames back exactly how you found them, because they already have their idea of what things need to look like. So make sure these things are nice and tight. That was a good inspection. So just a couple puffs in the front. Audio. Ooh. They're killing that sugar syrup too. Look at them go. Look at Sammy go.
I'm not gonna lie, this is very intimidating.
I bet it is. It's okay. They just kind of glued that together just a little bit. I bet it is intimidating.
Because like all my like natural human instincts are like wanting to swat.
All right, so just kind of pull the frame back towards you just a little bit. Slide it. There you go. Because you want to make sure they didn't glue anything to the. You're good. You can pull it off now. Make sure you don't squish anybody on the bottom.
Pull it away?
Yeah, so kind of pull it away from that frame. Because like I said, what you don't want to do is that queen's a little bit fatter
like
than everybody else. Yep, and just go pull straight up slowly.
Wow, they do hang on to each other.
We want that to be nice and calm. Awesome. Drawn comb. And then they have syrup in there, so they're just doing that for storage right now. So you go and set those guys to the side. Nice and easy. Wow, look at them go. Look at them go. They're killing it too. Alright, so see if we can see any eggs or anything in there. See anything?
I see some of the pollen stuff.
Okay, so we have pollen. Oh, we have larvae right down in there. Keep the frame just like that. You can see the eggs right there. A little grain of rice or eggs. And then those little wormies, those are the larvae. So they are doing really well. Just a touch of burr comb there. All right, so I would set that one actually back down inside here. Nice and easy. This one's probably gonna have a queen somewhere. Wow, beautiful. Wow,
Yep,
there.
she's right there.
Yep, boom. See if we can see her on camera. There she right there. Look at her in all of her fat glory. She's a beautiful queen. Italian mama there. Wonderful. Oh, look, they're doing the waggle dance. See the waggle dance?
What does that mean?
That's the waggle dance. So she knows where there's a whole bunch of pollen right now, or flowers or whatever. And see how they're all looking at her?
There's another one doing it too.
Yep. So she's telling everybody, hey, this is where
That
the
is
exact
so
coordinates are at
cool.
of this big group of flowers or nectar or pollen. And they're all watching her dance. And we actually, going from species to species, we can tell almost exactly where she's talking about as humans based on her dance, because it's all directly related to the sun, and which way she turns is which way she's going to turn in adjacent to the sun. Isn't that awesome? That's
amazing.
So cool. So that's really all we need to check on those girls. There's Sammy the beekeeper. Good job, love. Killing it out here. Killing it. Why is Walter underneath the hive?
Because
You see, this is what I'm saying. People worry about bees all the time.
he likes to be in the way.
The bees don't really care about Walter. We could honestly do this probably without our suits on, but I prefer not to get stung. So, awesome. So go ahead and re-put everything back together.
That was intimidating, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty well behaved. Like I said, I'm pretty sure we could have done this without them, but it's just good practice.
So is this wax?
That's the wax. So they build that up, and we could squish that down into a candle if we wanted to.
Oh, is that some of the...
Yep, some of the pollen inside there. So,
Huh.
yeah, they were storing that up too. That's why I want to get that out of there before they start putting eggs or anything else down in there. So, we saw exactly what we wanted to see in there. Both of our queens are ruined. We found the queens. That's awesome. A lot of times you can just go, oh, there's eggs, and call it good. But we actually found our queens, which is awesome. It was great to see them out and laying and fat and happy. They're drawing out combs even into the further frames. So these girls are ahead of schedule on both frames. There's pollen in there. There's nectar in there. There's eggs in there. There's larvae in there. This is just awesome. We got a little bit of the bird comb off. Beginner bee error. But it's looking good. So that means that, I mean, the faster they can get all this stuff done, the quicker we're going to get into like the honey flow and all this other fun stuff. So there's lots more to come with these girls. We're just starting off. I'm just super duper excited to see like how things are going to go and like how it's going to work out. It's literally like a little journey for each hive. So what we've come up with for hive names, because it's best to distinguish the two hives, is we're going to have the Italian hive and the Carniolan hive, and it's gonna be Laurel and Yanny, because they're a little different, but it's pretty much the same. So yeah, it's gonna be the Laurel hive and the Yanny hive. So, all right guys, well thanks for, be a little front over there. Thanks for watching the video, and thanks for keeping up with us, and thanks for supporting us on YouTube and Facebook. It's a lot of fun. I'm having a blast out here. If you guys ever want to check them out, or if you guys want to get into bees, I would love to help you out. So yeah, for our YouTube subscribers, or just people following, you like, comment, subscribe. If you got any comments, if you have any things that you would do differently if you're a beekeeper, I would love to hear them, because that's the only way we learn. If you have any insults, I mean, you can go ahead and throw those out there too if you like. I mean, I'm an easy target. So yeah, keep posted, because what we're going to do is we're going to do this exact same thing next week, and we'll see how far they've come in a week's time. Thank you. This is Aaron at the Beards and the Bees. Keep on watching.